Things I've learned in 2025. So one of the things that I've learned in 2025 is that it's absolutely okay for you to like people who don't like you. Not everybody's going to like you, and just because they don't doesn't mean that you can't admire things in that person or find inspiration in them in some way. I think the key is not to take things personally. I think getting comfortable with people not liking you is the absolute key here, isn't it, really? Because people are allowed to have their own opinions, and so are you, and you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. So the second lesson is that I have learned to embrace the word gratitude. So I used to have a big issue with the word gratitude, not because I don't think it's a beautiful word and people should be thankful and grateful for things. It's because when I was younger, I was told a lot that I was ungrateful. And because of that, I had a lot of strong emotions attached to that word, and it made me just feel a bit icky. But this year, I've managed to overcome that fear of the word. But now I do actually like the word gratitude, and I am able to use it. So that's a big breakthrough for me, because I am thankful and I am grateful. And just because I'm not mishappy all the time, and because, you know, I'm allowed to get grumpy, doesn't mean that I am not grateful and thankful for the things that I have, because I bloody well am. Particularly this year. What a year I've had, honestly. There's so many things that have happened and so many learning experiences. And I have realised how many amazing people that I have in my life that are so kind. Somehow I've managed to attract these amazing, supportive friends, and I'm so appreciative and thankful for every single one of them this year, because they've absolutely helped me through this year. They've just been amazing. So if you are watching and you're one of those people, you'll know who you are. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I'm really grateful and thankful from the bottom of my heart that I have such amazing people in my life like you. So thank you. The third lesson is give yourself some downtime. You need at least, I would say, 3 hours a week where you haven't planned anything, where you're totally out of your head. You have some space to think, wind down. You could do anything in that time, but don't plan anything in the time. So don't think, oh, I've got 3 hours to myself. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, this, this. No, don't plan anything, and then just see what comes. Because that's where you get your inspiration. If you don't create some space in your head from all the things that are going all the time, you can't listen to yourself, you can't listen to your body and how your body's feeling, and often your mind and body are trying to tell you things, and that is the only way that they're going to come through, if you give yourself that headspace. So often when you go on holiday for a week and you're not doing anything, you don't have to do all the housework, the washing up, you're not working, you're not sorting stuff out, cooking meals and everything, you just have some space. And that's usually often when breakthroughs come through, but we shouldn't have to wait until we go on holiday for this to happen. We need to create this space every week, and that is so important for our mental health as well. So trying to find 3 hours a week that is completely unplanned and open, and just freestyle it and see what comes. So something else that I've realised this year is how important it is to be present with people. And I have found that particularly difficult more recently, because my brain is trying to come up with ideas all the time, because I'm in a space of creativity at the moment. It wants to continue, it wants to keep coming up with these ideas and firing my head all the time. So some of the things that I found to be helpful with being present: physical activity, so going for a walk, and not just walking, bringing awareness into the body. So for example, feeling your feet on the ground, how the air feels on your face. Also, what I used to do actually when I was at physio and I used to go out for a walk at lunchtime, I'd go for a mindful walk. So what I would do is I would try and switch off my brain by listening to the sounds as I was walking along. So I'd listen to the traffic, I'd listen to the wind, I might hear some birds tweeting, etc. Walking along and just listening. And then it kind of dispels the other things that are going through your head. So I used to really love going for a mindful walk. That is a really good one to do. Other things that you can do is sitting with yourself if you're on your own, and maybe just putting your hand on your chest and on your stomach and tapping into the breath. So closing down the eyes and beginning to just notice the sensations in your body as you are breathing. So feeling the rise and fall of the chest and the stomach, feeling the air moving through your throat, maybe concentrating on the tip of the nose and the air coming in and out of the nostrils, and staying with the breath. So that's a really good thing to do, and deepening the breath for a couple of minutes. So something else that you can do in terms of pranayama and breathing techniques is alternate nostril breathing. So you use the thumb and the fourth finger, and basically you close one nostril, you breathe through that side, and then you do the same thing on the other side. So you're swapping from one into the other with each breath, and that's super mindful. It's because you're concentrating on what you're doing. So you can't really let the other thoughts go on because you're concentrating on which nostril you're breathing through, which one you're closing. It balances both sides of the brain, and it just calms and regulates the nervous system. So that's a really good breathing technique that you can do a couple of times a day. If you just have like a minute, 2 minutes just to do that, it just centralizes everything, brings your awareness back into the body. And just, to be honest, just generally being physical, I find brings me into my body, and anything where I have to concentrate really helps me. So I like playing games with my daughter and board games and that sort of thing. So that gets me in the present moment, and yeah, just helps me to be present with other people. But I think a lot of us are addicted to our phones, and we just need to get the phone out of the equation, out of our hands. Put it in the other room and turn it off and put it in a drawer or something like that. He's fine. It's super helpful. Yeah, because if somebody's on the phone when they're with you, you just feel like they're not interested in you. Do you know what I mean? You don't feel valued, and you don't feel like your time is precious, isn't it? And I did go out with somebody for a while who was on their phone a lot, and I really struggled with that because I think I've got a fear around, or a core wound around, rejection and not being seen. So that was an issue for me at the time, and it really made me feel quite triggered, to be honest. But it's true though, you know, life's too short. You don't want to think back and be like, oh, I spent all my time on my phone instead of engaging with the people that I care about and love, do you? Let's face it. So something else that I've learned this year is that emotions are not in the brain. They're in the body. That sounds such a weird thing to say. I always used to think, oh, when I'm feeling something, when I'm mad, sad, happy, etc., that it was kind of up here. But actually what happens is chemicals are stimulated in the brain, they are released, obviously go around the body, and then you get various sensations inside the body. So they are actually the feelings of pleasant feelings or really uncomfortable feelings. So thinking about if you're feeling angry, often you kind of feel it, you know, in your stomach or your solar plexus or your chest, don't you? Actually feel those sensations. It's those sensations that upset you. But I didn't actually realise that until very, very recently. So I think when you're feeling these emotions, it's really important to actually notice them, notice where they are, put a label on them, and that helps them to disperse. And that's something that I've tried to work on this year as well. Just feeling them, letting them be, staying with it, and not reacting or responding straight away. It's still a work in progress, and I have triggers around time pressure for whatever reason that I have had for a long, long time. So if I feel like I'm going to be late or I'm kind of rushing, that makes me feel really, really anxious. So something else that I've learned this year is what they call the sunk cost fallacy. So this is a cognitive bias whereby you have put a lot of time and effort into something, and therefore you feel like you must continue with whatever it is, the project, the career, the relationship, because you have put so much into it. But actually, it's okay to leave whatever it is, your job, your relationship, even if you have invested in it. If something is done, if it's finished, if it's best for you to leave, then leave. It's not going to make it better just because you've invested so much in it. So that's something that I've learned about this year. Setting boundaries. So I have set a lot of boundaries this year. which has not been difficult, and last year actually. So when you start setting boundaries in your life, the people who care about you will either try and understand, or they will push back against your boundaries. And I've had a fair few situations where my boundaries have been pushed back on this year. And so I've had to set further and further boundaries. And in some cases, I've had to end certain relationships because of that, which has not been easy, but it has been in my best interest in the longer term. So that has been a difficult thing this year, but it's also really, really empowering. So when you set these boundaries, as I say, you find out the people who are supposed to be in your life. You'll find out whether things can adapt and change, or whether you just have to say goodbye to the people and the situations, which is for the best. And you learn so much about people when you actually start doing that, instead of just being quiet, being small, not saying things, and when really things aren't okay. You really do find a lot out about people. Setting these boundaries has definitely changed my life for the better. I've had so many challenges this year, that I feel like my year has been such a learning experience. Things have just been stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked. And it's been one challenge after the other where I've had to say no. Just had to keep saying no and say, no, that doesn't suit me, or that's not okay with me. In a nice way. I'm not nasty about it, but sticking up for myself, I've had to stick up for myself a lot and think about whether certain behaviours are acceptable to me or not. And it's taught me a lot about myself. It's also taught myself how strong a person I am. And I think it's just kind of, every time you set a boundary, you elevate yourself. Every time you challenge something in the right way, you elevate yourself and you change and you become a better person. And it's definitely led me on this journey to be more open and to care less about what people think, because people are allowed to think whatever they like, can't they? It doesn't matter. What people think is a reflection of themselves, and it's not a reflection of you. So anyway, I've learned a lot of different things this year. So grateful for everyone in my life, for the year that I've had, the good, the bad, everything, because at the end of the day, everything that you've been through has made you who you are, and you wouldn't be in this position if everything in your life had not happened. You'd be a totally different person. If you think about experiences, there's two sides to every coin, and the negative things that have happened to you actually can turn into skills. They can turn into strengths. They can turn into empathy for people who have been through similar situations. So there's always a positive side to the negative. So that is what I choose to believe, and that's what I subscribe to. I can't wait for all the new experiences and everything that's going to happen in 2026. So yeah, thank you for watching if you've got this far, and wishing every single one of you all the best. Goodbye.